The war to acquire everything WB Discovery is on, as it was confirmed by WB Discovery. We of course know that there's multiple big parties already taking part in a bidding war, and more are about to pop up. So let's talk about how we just found out that Netflix and Universal are two of the parties that are throwing their hat into the bidding war, meaning somebody big is going to acquire WB. So first and foremost, let's get the basics out of the way. There's a ton of people, even in my last video, which I talked about the possibility of Disney buying up WB, which is a very real possibility. I will make sure that that's the video that pops up as recommended, so you guys can watch that. It's a bit of a longer video, almost closing in on like 14-15 minutes. But again, I suggest you watch if you want more context on why that's possible. But yeah, WB is for sale, and it will happen. Now, again, a lot of people still doubt this, but it's going to happen, which is why they announced that they're up for sale after already taking a couple bids and turning them down. They know what their value is now, and that people will come back with higher bids, and this is the whole game that they're playing. Now, in regards to the names that are out there, we already know that there's small parties that are interested and possibly partnering up with others, as Sony tried just recently after they were going the whole Paramount Skydance thing, trying to throw that off and put their hat into that, but they couldn't agree with their partners, which I think was the Apollo Group. I might be wrong on that, but it's not important to this story. Either way, though, it could still be Sony if they find a right partner. But the big two names that have popped up overnight are, of course, WB selling to Netflix and Universal. Now, I want to talk about both of these and why one is better than the other and why the other one is going to be a complete disaster. So let's start with the more positive, which is Universal. So just like I said in my video about Disney going after WB, and people still clearly did not hear that or choose not to hear it, I am not for consolidation and all these conglomerations happening. But the fact of the matter is, just like with Fox being bought by Disney, it needs to happen for the survival. If you want to see more Superman, these things need to happen. If you want to see more Batman, these things need to happen. That's just the facts. That's how it's going to go, right? So it's either they go away and nothing ever happens and they're just dead, or they're sold. They're going to get sold. Enter Universal, and why I think they're a better pick. Universal overall is a legacy studio that already has better money management than Fox ever did or WB ever has in any iteration of itself. As it was discovered recently, Universal came out with a public statement against Vin Diesel rallying up the Fast and Furious fans, because for well over a year and a half now, he's been saying, oh, the next Fast and Furious, everybody's back. We're doing this. The budget's going to be great. We're doing 2 back-to-back. It's going to be the biggest films ever. Oh, my God, you guys just need to be ready. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And they're like, no, reduce that budget. And also, you're lying. We never confirmed it. We don't have any contracts, so it's not happening. Because, again, they lost so much money on that last film, and Vin Diesel wants more. They have better money management skills. And also, for Universal, this is the key. I need you to listen to me. This is the key. This is always going to be the key. This is the reason that they want WB as a whole, and especially DC. It is theme parks. It is always theme parks. That's what does it. You guys know how Universal made that partnership with Nintendo, and they have like Nintendo Land things? Guess what? The Mario film making over $1 billion is nothing compared to how much they rake in on a weekly basis just off of that partnership and having Nintendo in their theme parks. Imagine if Universal gets their hands on WB and suddenly they got all these properties that they can make more content out of and do crossovers and whatever. But also, imagine the power of DC at Universal theme parks. A true rival to the power of Disney, who are the kings of theme parks. Again, That's the key here. And also merchandise, merchandise, merchandise. I cannot stress enough how important merchandise is in regards to getting WB. That's why everybody with a brain would hope that Universal gets them. Which brings us to Netflix. If Netflix gets their hands on WB, WB is dead and you are getting nothing. Netflix is the absolute worst choice possible for WB to be bought out by. And it's kind of bad that they got the highest chance of winning this war, because Netflix's pockets are infinite, because their losses are infinite, their write-offs are infinite, and they can spend as much as they want, take all the time they want, produce endless content that's schlock, spend $300+ million on films that are garbage, and still, if nobody watches it or if everybody watches it, they just make money. It's just how it goes. Their shares, per everybody that talks about stock, are way overinflated, but again, they were the first to do the whole streaming thing, and that's why. So the scenario of them getting their hands on WB, and especially DC, is an absolute disaster waiting to happen. What I mean by that is, look at Universal. What did I just say about theme parks and merchandise? Where's all the merchandise based on Netflix stuff? I'll wait. I know what you're going to say, but look, there's Stranger Things merch, and this one thing has merch, and, well, there's some merch over here. Right. You can fit it all and count it all on the 5 fingers on one hand and fit it all into your one hand. It's rare. It's just not there because they don't care. Because if they were to produce that, suddenly they get an influx of actual profits, and then that damages their bottom line of inflating and write-offs. On top of this, what does Netflix do with anything they get? Takes 2 to 3 years to make follow-up seasons, dumps it all in one day, the conversation is barely there, the content is constantly getting worse, and they are a studio that is built, single-handedly built, for acquiring things and not doing anything with them. How many dozens upon dozens of creators have talked about meeting with Netflix to potentially continue a series that was canceled, and or selling their project, and or have sold their projects? Netflix doesn't tell them about their numbers. They don't tell them anything. The series is either canceled, or right when they have to pay royalties, they cancel it, and then they got the rights to hold on to it for 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 years to just sit on the IP and not do anything with it. They are literally everything that people accuse Disney and other conglomerates like Apple of being. Except people, they want to pay their $28 a month or something to wait for Stranger Things, the 90s years, or whatever's coming up next, and, support them. They are the absolute worst pick, and if they get it, say goodbye to everything you love about WB's properties, and say goodbye to the DC Universe, because it will be dead within 5 years. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.